One of the key pillars to successful shrimp keeping is patience. A very simple concept, but can be difficult to master. I'll show you a few personal examples of where I've struggled and turned it around. In my opinion, there are three main pillars of successful shrimp keeping. 1. Correct water parameters within range. 2. Quality stock. And 3. Patience. You've set up the aquarium for your new shrimp. Everything within the optimal range. You've found the perfect breeder, and you're ready to go. The first common mistake is adding the shrimp too early. Allow the tank to mature. Coat with a natural biofilm, which is the main food source for shrimp. A mature tank contains many beneficial bacteria, which also helps support in keeping the water stable. I would honestly wait or let your tank mature for 2 months before adding shrimp. There are many other methods to speed up the process, but personally, I prefer to use natural methods and keep it simple and straightforward. Test the water parameters weekly to ensure they are still within range. Here's a short clip. I have 3 aquariums aging and maturing for my new shrimp. 2 months is a great test of patience, but what a great reason to set up a few more aquariums and stagger them out. Overfeeding is another key in the patience pillar. In general, it is better to underfeed than to overfeed. People often ask how much to feed. It truly depends on how many shrimp you have in your colony. I have a great video that outlines the optimal feeding practices, and there is a link to that video in the description below. It's always exciting to feed shrimp. Seeing tens, hundreds, and even thousands of shrimp swarming the aquarium, it's exciting and visually attractive. The key takeaway is, healthy shrimp should always be swarming. If they don't attack your food within 15 to 30 seconds of introduction, they're not hungry or you've overfed. Hold off. Try to feed them the next day or a few days later can be painful, but I guarantee your shrimp will do better than overfeeding. The consequences of overfeeding could eventually lead to poor water quality and the death of the shrimp. Too much or too little water changes. The balance is a struggle, but once you get into a pattern, it'll pay off. My personal approach is either 5% weekly or 10% bi-weekly. Others have success with 50% or more water changes, but it can be harder to balance. 5 to 10% is more subtle change. Similar in the wild, the water is always flowing, or as a result, it's always changing out or fresh. Ideally, you can even design a continuous water change system or an automatic water change system. I believe that will be the ultimate setup. If you make a mistake in the 5% water change, it is less detrimental than a 50% water change with the incorrect water parameters. Not changing for 3 months could work, but for some shrimps, it's not as ideal, and the organics and other factors could build up. Another note is also to ensure the new water is within ideal parameters. Patience in buying shrimp. It is best to do your research on the type of shrimp you want to buy, and try not to impulse buy. Sometimes some shrimp looks cool at first glance at the store. My personal preference is to purchase from local breeders, and if possible, ask them many questions on their shrimp and practices. The response will allow you to gauge if they're in it for profit or if they're a hobbyist selling high quality shrimp to promote the hobby. Either way works, and it's up to your risk appetite. With that said, some of the newer patterns and colors often found overseas versus the locally, in my case, the Greater Vancouver area. In the end, it is my goal to promote the hobby. I do sell off my high quality shrimp from time to time, and it pays for a pack of food or remineralizers, and it's not for profit. I truly believe that a beautiful aquascape aquarium with shrimp is suitable in everybody's home. Personally, it's a great distressor from my daily work life. There's something about watching shrimp swarm over a piece of food that's oddly satisfying. Let's be honest, with the way that 2020 has gone, we could all use a little de-stressing in our lives. Comment below on the ways that your shrimp tank help you de-stress.